It's in my soul. I got to stay here and play. I can't roll.
Name, when you were born and where you were born.
Well, Horace Combs, and I was born in 1952, Meriwether County, Greenville, Georgia, to the late Reverend Willie Combs and Mamie Lou Combs Martin. And in that house we had a piano, and like the 7 of us kids, all of us banged on it. And I more or less likely just wanted a hot car. I didn't care nothing about the music. I didn't think I was gonna play nothing. And my sister Fifi, Laverne, aka Fifi, she was the piano player. And I had a brother named Leo. He could well it, but he wouldn't play out in the opening, but he would play at the house. And I would get on it, and I think the first thing I ever played was "Tell Me What I Say" by Ray Charles on the piano. And that's how I got kicked off. And it was always, well, my church was Branch Hebron Baptist Church in Odessadale, in between Greenville and LaGrange, and it was kicked off with a quartet with Arthur Burst and Shorty Burst and all those guys. I couldn't afford no guitar, so they bought me a electric bass because Robert Louis Parks was playing guitar. Okay. And I could kind of rotate from guitar to bass, but since he didn't mess with bass much, I would let him play guitar. And that's how I got kicked off, and just started playing, and that's how I got started.
Hold on one second. Hold on, I'll be right back. For now, we gotta close it. All right. So, I am back. All right. Look. Okay, so you got started off. Okay, so you said your dad was a pastor. How did he feel about you? Well, in the beginning, when you said you started out learning Ray Charles, so how did he feel about you playing and studying wasn't?
That's when he wasn't present. I got in rhythm and blues groups, and it was Nathan Dean's mother, I can't remember her name, now she's passed. She said, "This boy can sing." He said, "Well, I would rather him sing for the Lord." And he didn't like chop me down for doing it. He just, one time he came in the front yard, we had a band out in the dirt playing, just like out in your yard right there. And man, we were packing stuff when he saw his truck coming. He said, "That's y'all soul." Not mine. So, but we still just stopped because we had most of respect for him. And at that age, you were just trying to get out there and reach that goal of trying to be famous or something, you know. And if you was really dedicated, you always would have that in the back of your head if you were serious. You would want to be a Muddy Waters or Johnny Hooker, and all of this pop and different stuff. It came from the blues, gospel music, and there was a guy that I used to listen to. Used to play guitar for the Dixie Hummingbirds.
Hold on one more second as well. I'm so sorry. I'm finna go inside now. I told you that he could be quiet. Hey, Malik, y'all.
I don't know. I think that's kind of part of the atmosphere.
It is, you know. So sometimes you had to catch it.
You gotta let the kids do their thing.
Yeah, sometimes you have to catch it on there too.
Yeah. So do you still are you living here in Greenville these days?
Yeah, right down the road.
Nice.
Yeah.
I suppose.
You can go out to the end of this street and hook a left and come right through my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Off of 100.
Okay, all right. Hopefully we shouldn't have no problems. So you said the Dixie Hummingbird. Oh, we left off.
Yeah, they had a guitar player with the Dixie Hummingbirds. Named Mr. Howard Carroll, and he had the most unique way of playing a guitar. And he would hit chords like, you know, Make It Blend, and the full chords, you know. And he would, you know, he was like the creative, some of that good gospel stuff you hear now, the riffs.
I got you.
And the Dixon Hummingbirds, they was out there, man, way back in the day. That was more when I wasn't even a teenager. My dad would listen to them and Golden Gates. He would listen to that, and you know, you caught different licks from different people. And the Dixon Hummingbirds, you had the Pilgrim Jubilee, the Mighty Clouds of Joy. Those people inspired a lot of people around here, you know, in my day. And the next door neighbors, that's when I first saw a Silvertone electric guitar. Now, saw this guy playing it and hooked into that little box, and I said, well, that thing making it, you know. And then later on, there came the Gibson guitars and the Fender Strats and the Fender Telecasters after that. And once I heard the guitar, I said, wow, I like the way that thing sounds. And up until the day, that chord going to that amp, it still fascinates me, you know. And when I heard you, I said, man, that cat can't play that stuff young as he is, but you man, you bad guy, man. So I'm just glad to see you doing it. I think the only other youngster around here is Ronald Marshall.
Oh yeah, the Marshall. Yeah.
And I inspired him to play. He heard me over at 362 Boses, what my dad used to call it. And I always say it too, but it's New Friendship, I think. And he heard me play. And from that day on, we went home and went in the woodshed. And next time I saw him, he was cooking. And so every guitar player got something different. You can learn something from that guitar player, this guitar player. Everybody got something you can sometimes steal something from.
Yeah, I got it.
Or learn something from them. Some guys don't know 2 or 3 chords, but they know just where to put them 2 or 3 chords.
Yeah.
And it's just a thing that still fascinates me, you know. And when I come along, it was like Jimmy Reed. You got me running, you got me hiding, got me running any way you want me to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want, baby, where you want me. And Jimmy wasn't put in the spotlight a lot, but he to me, it just led into Billie Jean, you know. All of these later model songs, they come from the same old just. You know, or Jimi Hendrix. He was just an electrified Johnny Hooker. And then, back up. There's a red house over yonder. It's where my baby stays. You know? And we rocked the house with it, you know?
Yes.
And it's amazing. It's amazing, you know, to be sitting on the porch with you, because you out of sight with it. And some stuff we started in gospel. Dixon Hummingbird is Jews. All the guitar players they traded. It wasn't no Biggie, Tupac against one another. You got behind stage and you traded licks. And I'm on the Lord's side, and it makes me mighty glad. You walk up, I'm on side. You know it makes me mighty the side, and it makes me mighty glad. I was down, feeling sad and blue, and I didn't know what to do. Jesus came into my heart. I'm a living witness. He gave me a brand new start. And ever since that day, I can stand up and tell the world, keep on trusting in His holy word. 'Cause I'm on the Lord's side. And it makes me mighty, mighty glad. One. And I'm on the Lord's side. I'm on the side. I'm on the side. I'm on Jesus' side. You know? Yeah, so it's just a thing, man. Music. You're born with it. You got a niche for it. You got it. And it's a beautiful thing. You know, it took me a long time to get to this portrait, you know. And you know, just keep working with it. Cause you got it. You're born with it, see? And so many, you gotta either be born with it or you gotta work like all I do is to get it. And some people that weren't born with it, they work, they learn chords. And it was, back in the day, I had maybe the first integrated group around here called Love 1 and 2. And we cut a record for a guy named Gerald Nelson in the park. And it sold pretty good. So I had this Caucasian drummer named Cotton Russell. And a lot of people weren't ready for that when we walked in the clubs back in that day. We heard a few things, a few words. But he was a good drummer. And we got started doing stuff like love and happiness. Yeah, something that'll make you do wrong, make you do right. Of course, a song by Al Green. Love, love and happiness, love and happiness. Something going wrong. Someone's on the phone. 3 o'clock in the morning, yeah, talking about how she can make it right, yeah. Well, happiness is when you really feel good with somebody, yeah. Nothing wrong being in love with someone now, baby. Baby, love and happiness, love and happiness, hey, hey, hey. Love will make you do wrong, make you come home early, make you stay out all night long. Love and happiness.
I'm gonna ask you this question, cause this the first time I ever sat down and heard you play, and
right.
I don't even have words to say. It's just like I just sit back and look, cause them chords he used. Oh my God. Okay. When you first started playing, and the music when you started playing, the music now, can you see the difference? What do you think the difference between the music from when you started playing and the music that we got today, or is it a difference, or what? You know, what do you think?
It's just for what time zone an individual is in. But to me, the music when I started was hair-raising music, or music that made you move, made you feel. This music now, it don't have that type of feeling. You could hear. I'm trying to think of this lady, Mahalia Jackson, without music. Period, could make you just get up out of what you see. Have you mesmerized, you messed up, you know. Or Patsy Cline, she could move you. different people. Willie Nelson, Elvis and some stuff. But nowadays, this music is more or less too violent for me. You know, that's on my behalf. Or it ain't teaching you to share, or be obedient, to be kind, and to love someone. It's like go out and harm someone. That's why there's so many kids being misled. You see, being misled. And instead of the church or the blues hall even being full, the prisons is being full off of listening to stuff that, don't get me wrong, it's about now just making money. Back then it was, am I doing a class act? Am I performing this right? Am I, leading somebody the right way? People don't care now about how people being led, you know what I'm saying? But to me, the music, you don't want to go back to the past because you got to stay here, past, present, and future. But if you don't know your past, then the visions of your present and future going to be blurred like a set of dingy glasses. But the main thing is that family love and respect for family, and for music wise, stick with the music that could help that young kid coming out of the door can go out and not just get himself murdered or want to murder someone. But the rappers, some of the stuff is good. I don't knock anybody for what they do. It's in their era now. But when we came up, you had to play something. You couldn't use no box to make the noise. You had to play, and that was it. My mom and dad bought me one of them wound up Roy Roger guitars. I was kind of crazy about Roy Roger. But I wanted to stomp that thing because I wanted one to play. And the hardest thing was you had to tune the guitar. And it was the late Willie Favors, better known as Bill Darden. He played with a bottleneck, something similar to you.
Oh, really?
And I think it was a Vassar-proof for something that he played in. See, we played from E to E. Mm-hmm. And, the closest thing I get to this is like that bar chord like that. You fascinate me, I fascinate you. So if everybody played the same, it would be the adult world. So, you got the George Bensons, then you had the M.O. James, and you had Rosetta Tharpe. Was a woman. She could really kill a guitar, man. And she played those big fat Gibsons. Mm-hmm. And it was in a day that I didn't want to play a solid body guitar. I wanted to play a fat guitar because I want to still stay in contact with the older players like Roberta Thorpe or Spanky Alford or George Benson or somebody of that nature to play those big arch top guitars. Mm-hmm. But when I did get to the Gibson, not Gibson, but that Fender Strat, oh, what a sweet neck. What a sweet neck.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Excuse me. Go on with your question.
No, I was about to ask, you talking about the guitar. What's some of the type of guitars you done had over the years that you playing?
I still got a 61 Silvertone that Sales Row Book put out, authentic. And I played Gretsch, and I played Gibsons. And sometimes when I was doing bad, I'd go to the pawn shop and get a cheap guitar. That's what my son Fraven would say. My dad would make a cheap guitar sound good, but that, I wondered what all the roof was about. I just was playing. And at that time I was drinking, and you took a little drink. Just like on first class airplane, keep you thinking about the plane crashing, you melt out. And so I used to couldn't hardly go on a stage without taking a little snot. I never did no dope. But the alcohol would kind of blend you at that time. But I had this bad dream that I ran over two little kids that stopped me from drinking in 2016. I quit smoking in 1997. But the guitars, it didn't make no difference after one. It was just a guitar. Just as long as the string wasn't so high off the neck, But I like Gibsons because some of the old pioneers played Gibsons. You had Sugar Hightower, different people that played. Spanky played at Gibson. I played with Spanky, but I talked to Mr. Howard Carroll once in South Carolina. We was on the show. We opened up the show. And Arnold Harris and the Crusaders opened up the show with Troy Ramey and these guys were hot at the time out of Tyler, Texas, Willie Neal Johnson. And when I was in Atlanta, I got to tour a lot with those big acts. And a lot of people around there, they didn't even think I was playing, but I was playing somewhere. And, but basically, any guitar, you got so many guitars now, it's just like cars. All cars are fly now. You know, run up and down the road and fly. So guitars about the same way. All of them basically good now because one company gonna have that's the edge for a year. Next company catch up with it. You know, Hackstrom. You had that's a guitar that's all Crown. They ain't on the market no more. Stuff like that. Rickenbacker.
Yeah.
Different type of guitars. Stuff like I got a stand-up bass now. And I got a Les Paul, which is a high-priced guitar. Yeah. And sometimes I used to get those high-priced guitars. If I got in trouble, I could go hock it. And they used to say, if you getting hock it, man, if you ain't never hocked one, you can't play it. You hate to take it over there, but you needed something. You need some gas or something. You know? You needed something, so I started. You don't want to go in there with no guitar that wasn't valuable. They're gonna run you at the door. Oh, we don't want that. But you got a Gibson. He finna just by ask you, would you sell it?
Yeah.
And that's why you would basically get a guitar that was worth something. Then it would last you too while you're playing in the neck. You know, it would just be so beautiful. You know. I was born, Sam Cooke, by the river. There was a left-handed guitar player named Bobby Womack was playing guitar for him. In a little tent. And just like the old river I've been running, it was sweetness. Ever since. It's been a long, in the slide, long time coming, but I know change gonna come. And change has come. It's your day. You see what I'm saying? And just kick it and you got it. You got it going on. And you had John Lee Hooker. Boom, 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 boom. I love the way you walk and the way you talk. Put something in my ear that sounds so dear. And here we go. John Lee. He just had his own thing. John Lee had that voice, and he was just John Lee, but he was funky,
yeah.
You know. And you had Howlin' Wolf, you know, had that gritty voice. A guy that made me want to play was a guy that came like from White Oak, Georgia, that was rounding off into Macon. His name was Otis Red. Guy that came from nowhere and made something, you know, out of himself. I've got dreams to remember. I've got dreams, rough dreams to remember. If memory served me right, he and his wife were there. I saw you there last night. Another man's arm holding you tight. Nobody knows what I feel inside. All I know is I walked away and cried. I've got dreams, yeah, to remember. I've got dreams, rough dreams to remember. See, I loved a lot of his ballads, but the song he more or less son, I'll be sitting till the evening comes, watching ships roll in, then I watch them roll away again. Oh, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the time rolling away, yeah. I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time.
I didn't know that. You don't use a pick?
On electric.
No, on acoustic you use.
Yeah, and then sometimes I just use what God gave me on the electric guitar because a lot of times I used to play in clubs. It's dark in there, and I dropped that pick and couldn't find it, so I had to go back. I said, "These are the picks." He got them glued on to me. You know, a lot of people get speed out of a pick, and you can take this pick and you can kind of cock it like that and get a, and then go back flat or whatever like that. You know, you get a lot of speed out of a pick if you want to show off, you know, something like that. But I try to play with what I feel. Okay. And I was in Woodbury in a house, and the man had a house full of guitars. He would repair them. So when I started playing, he said, "You don't use a pick," so that blew his mind, you know. He said, "That's the way you should play." So sometimes I just forget it's there. You play with a pick?
I don't.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of people, you know, a lot of times where you're going to get some flack about that when a person can't play without a pick. You need to play with a pick, you know. You don't pay that no attention. You play what you feel comfortable with, like you got a pair of comfortable shoes. And you pick with what make you happy. And I don't care where you are, the first couple of bars, I don't care how long you've been playing, you're going to be a little nervous. You sweat a little bit, but it'll be all right, you know. My main thing, I'm glad that you got me over.
Oh, most definitely. I'm glad to have you over. This is a treat. I can't even. I keep forgetting we interview. I got a question. So, how do you feel? What do you feel about the difference? Give me the difference in your mind between blues and gospel, and what each one of them does for a person.
You're saying one thing, Jesus and gospel, and blues. You basically talking to bad times in a woman. You understand? You know, gospel is for God, and that's it. You know, the blues is more or less something that you took out there and played. It's that led into Mama, Marvin Gaye. Everybody, you can use that same chord in gospel. You know, or you know that's Hey Joe. Mm-hmm. But you can also say, the nails in his feet, in his hands too. They hung him out on Calvary cross, died for me. You see what I'm saying? The difference is the words. You know, you go back to the old days with Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me, yeah. I want love, but now I'm bound. Was blind, but now I see. It's the rotation. Or you could go to the basic, just chords, mostly major chords on the piano, and you can write a gospel tune to it. But the contemporary type of stuff now, more or less, choirs are doing stuff that you hear on the radio. Mm-hmm. And they used to do it out of the book, straight out of the book, you know, like Amazing Grace or different songs. But now it's more likely into what somebody's just doing every day. You know, the song, what is this song? Growing up as a child in my mother's care. A choir wouldn't have did nothing like that in the 50s, you see. But now it's more or less into a contempt style. I got you, understand. Into gospel now. There's most have been back in the day. You know, stuff like that, or back in the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
Until they get to tell you a story about a man named Ted. Oh, my man, you know, Lester Flack, Earl Scruggs type of stuff. That was what was going on in the church in the 20s and 30s. The first blues man I ever heard of around here that played like Q, I didn't know him, but my mom used to tell me, "Boy, you back there in that back sound like Pike Herbert." She knew some guy named Pike Herbert, and he played guitar, played the blues, and that's the first somebody I knew out of the old days. But they would just take plain church music, make a twist, and did the blues. You see? You like that? Oh Lord, you know. Or you know, oh baby, you know, Little Richard. Got a girl named Daisy, sure enough driving me crazy. Ooh, I got her named Daisy, sure enough driving me crazy. You know, stuff like that. All that came from church. Black gospel anyway. You see, and that's all Little Richard and people knew. And Otis Redding had the same voice Little Richard had, and he wound up using Little Richard's band. And there was a guy out of Macon named Johnny Jenkins had Otis Redding, you know, just like unloading amps. But when they got the Stack recording studio in Tennessee, they never did hardly get a complete take on Johnny Jenkins. But I wish it had been the other way, that he could have recorded. But Otis Redding kept begging him, and they let him sit down to the piano. He hit these arms up, man. And the man said, "Oh, let me go out front and tell him we got the man. This is the voice we've been looking for." And so that's how that happened. You know, sometimes you can go somewhere being just a roadie and wound up being a superstar. You know, then that's what happened with Otis Redding.
So, you talking, and I can tell about the name Patsy Cline and Joy Benson and John Hood, that you listen to a lot of different music.
Yes, I do.
A lot of different music. And I can see by your hand that you play almost probably every chord. You play, you know, every key. So I want to just see, could you do like a country thing just real quick for us, if you don't mind?
A country thing?
Yeah, some country. Yeah, you can just play it a little.
Want me to play a little some country where he on the alley road, he drives a Chevy and I drive a Ford. Don't care which one that came in, just as long as it gets to the front porch. And he old Horace Combs plays the guitar today. Oh, I got to do something country for one. It's in my soul, I got to stay and play. I can't run, but I still feel my parents' loving care, even though they over in the graveyard over there.
That's
Yeah.
it. Well, so when you were coming up, who were some of the people locally that you were just crazy about here?
I'm glad you asked that, because I'm glad you asked that. It was Nathaniel Levitt who got me started. There was a guy that walked the streets in Greenville. A lot of people say, "Hey, he just drank too much," but Nathaniel Levitt had the baddest Gibson you ever want to see. And they had a band, what would they call them? Showstoppers. And he was the one that said, "Combs, I got some equipment, cause look like you don't want somebody around here gonna keep it going on." And his brother Louis was in Vietnam at the time, and I was a youngster. And we got that guitar, and then we went down to the American Legion, a place called the Shack. And they had one of those OK amplifiers in there. Had that pretty tremolo on it. And that's how I got started with him. Nathan Levy, he was a singer, and he could hum something to you, and we would pick it up on the guitar. None of us knew notes then, just like we know the E and F and stuff now. And there was Charles Palm that played guitar. There was Robert Sanford Hine and Leroy Hines, who was some incredible blues guitar players. None of them could play that what you playing on, but they played on their level. And out of the thing, it was a guy named Robert Ward. He later formed the Ohio Untouchables and cut a record in, which later went into the Ohio Untouchables, Skin Tight and Fire. He came right out of Luthersville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Robert Ward. Look him up on your cell phone, the internet. Named Robert Ward, and he went over in Carrollton and got this guy named Raleigh Johnson. Both of them were guitar players, and they had a guy named Doc Black. I'm sure your grandfather remember him. Doc Black was the bass player, but those guys were pretty tougher than Doc, and so they went on their way, and Raleigh went to Ohio with Robert Ward. Robert Ward, I think, started in Florida, but he got broken, and he pawned this from the Telecaster down there, and he went to his aunt's house somewhere up in Ohio, and he took the group up there. But Robert Ward come out to get a union card, and Raleigh Johnson came out to get a union card, and he started playing with a guy named Piano Red.
Piano. Now I got a friend named Albert White. His uncle at Piano Red.
There you go. And Raleigh Johnson wrote this song, Mr. Moonlight. Piano Red done it, but it wound up a manager of his took him to the Atlanta Stadium when the Beatles came through. That's how the Beatles got Mr. Moonlight. Raleigh Johnson, that was come out of Carrollton in Franklin, Georgia, wrote that, and that's when I first heard him play at the Congo Club here in Luthersville. Wow, it blew my mind. Or Jar Lake Inn was the club in Greenville then when I was like 16, 15.
So it used to be a lot of clubs around here.
What are you talking about? And see, that was mostly when the live entertainment was kicking. There wasn't no such thing as you won't hear no record player. Oh, no. You come out there with a record player, they throw that out the window. Man, give me some blood, man, I want to hear something. Somebody got to pick. See, it's kind of vice versa now. You have pick clubs now where this is going on. But you would get a lot of the Caucasians, white people, will come over to hear this blues because they want to hear it authentic, And then when stuff got a little rough, they stopped coming around, But I'm just being truthful with you. That blues brought people across the track up there in Atlanta, Georgia, to 617 Lounge. That was before Buckhead was even swinging. You had some entertainers, Sammy D's, that's from Greenville. Play organ. Wow, man, you missed it if you didn't hear him. And he usually had good guitar players. J.D. Morris, I played a lot with J.D. and people like that. J.D., he was the fussy type. Man, where you get that guitar from? Man? You had to be, he was into formality. You played bass for him, you played with the fingers, you didn't play no. He didn't care who you were. Yeah, man, you couldn't play like that with me. But he knew all kind of chords. He was like a, excuse me. Gay, or I've been really trying, baby, to hold back this feeling for so long. If you feel like I feel, baby, come on. And let's get it on. That stuff like that J.D. would play. He was into pretty finesse stuff. You had the spinner. He would play stuff like that, or it was just. It was mixed. I fused it, gospel, jazz. I fused it, blues. Then when some people will get too big, they hear the blues out. Don't go dead. Don't go dead on the blues. Because the blues still live. Don't go dead, Quan. Keep doing what you do. God gave you a gift. Don't set on it. Keep on you. See what I'm saying? Yeah. I just write what that means right there, right then. You know?
So yeah, you sound like you're a wonderful songwriter. So
Yeah, I was a songwriter for Clarence Carter, Future Stars. And
Clarence Carter.
Clarence Carter, the one made Slip Away, and Patches was his biggest hit into this song, I'll Be Stroking. But see, I hung around Clarence a long time. Horace Combs. I had almost an album there with Clarence. In some kind of way, it fell loose. And I was kind of crazy about his vice president. His name was J. Alfred Cook. And I happened to been looking at him, and he's passed. He's deceased. Not Clarence, but Alfred Cook. And I was looking at one of Otis Redding live overseas, and that was Cook, Alfred Cook playing bass on there. He was a guy named Leroy Hanley. And Leroy did a cut on some of my stuff I did at Clarence Studio that I was almost to be signed with a certain company back in that day. And Leroy was the man who Joe Tech used to holler, "Hey Leroy, you take the one with the skinny leg?" And so I saw them two guys, I said, man, you know, it was like they come back to life to me. So I don't know whether Leroy is passed or not, but I knew J. Alfred Cook passed him. And I was a songwriter for Clarence Carter, Future Star, Horace Combs, yeah? And that was a big feel for me in that day. And yeah, you know, so I almost got there, you know, in certain stuff. And I enjoy playing, whether it's church or what. I basically play in the church now, but the blues was the beginning for me. And Jimmy Reed always stay there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me doing what you want. That's my old one, man.
Well, we're going to ask a few more questions, then you don't mind getting your electric out?
Oh, yeah, I forgot it was over there. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Man, this is a treat. Ain't it? This is the best treat of the year. I can think of.
Mr. Horace is a
Makes me want to
musician.
play some music.
Yes, Mr. Horace is a musician. I'll play a few tunes for you when I got one of my boxes in the car before you go.
All right. I know you got it.
So when did you get this guitar?
I got this guitar. I bought this guitar at a Tina music store when they was in Noonan.
Oh, I remember Tina like going toward Peachtree City.
There you go.
Yeah, I know on the left hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going. You good?
Yeah, we'll make sure if you're gonna be singing, make sure it's kind of a nice balance between guitar and your voice so we can hear it.
This is a song I wrote when I was at Clarence. Every time I look into your eyes, I could throw myself away. Letting a woman like you go. A whole lot of dues have been paid. 'Cause I don't have nothing without you, baby. And if you knew what I've been going through, yeah. I know you would open the door to your heart, to your heart. I know you would open, hey, to your heart. And let love come shining, shining on through, yeah, shining on through. I noticed your picture at least 1,000 times a day. Wanting you to call me on the phone and tell me by my side where you want to lay. 'Cause I don't have nothing without the baby. And if you knew what I was going through, I know you would open the door. Yeah, to your heart. Open the door to your heart. Where are you? Yes, where can you be? That beautiful creature. This is a song I did with Lil William too. One lovely day. Oh yeah. I miss you so. I don't think I can go on this way. After we've gone all day, I never even asked you your name. We were together as a two, was together as one. And when the day was done, hey baby, I was gonna ask you home. But you got lost with me in the crowd. Lost with me in the crowd. On the day you made me feel so good and proud. And even when I'm sad, you made me happy so bad. We got to spend one day of heaven together right here on earth. Me girl, that was my day of rebirth. I didn't know that you would drift away. I was gonna ask you home, but you got lost with me in the crowd. Lost with me in the crowd. And on that day, made me feel so good and proud, so wonderful and proud. It's about the first time I ever done this song since we recorded it in a long time. And that's what we did here with that group Love Winning too, that song there. And another song we used to do. I can't believe that the way that you make me feel, burning deep down inside, a love that I cannot hide. I know it's you and me, baby. Make the world go round. You're keeping me in love, laying all my troubles down. Now here I am, baby. Come and take me, hey, baby. Come and take me by the hand, yeah.
So, my question is, because like I said, if I had known that, I would have been at your house. My goodness, what's the question? What do you think is the benefit of being a well-rounded musician, or knowing different chords, or knowing different keys, or listen to different styles of music? What do you think is the benefit of that?
you won't hardly be out of work because you might go there as a lead singer and you can play guitar. And then somebody might be needing somebody that can play a little bit of jazz. Or somebody might be a preacher. He might need you in his church. By knowing the benefit of playing all the way around, you won't miss jobs, especially if that's how you get fed. You see what I'm saying? So if you really want to make music your profession, you'll learn all you can, and you'll listen to something, even if listen to some type of opera. If it's good, you might not like, just listen. You might pick something up, or listen to country and western. Don't just say, I don't play that because I'm black, man. I don't like that kind of, I don't, white man, I don't need that. This is, I'm a Mexican, you. You see what I'm saying? And you just pick up stuff. And because you don't know who you're going to run into in the city. See, now down here, it's a different level. You can play kind of like when you get to the city, you got to just about no formality. Hey man, where you come from? You got to play. And so it'll be better if you sit down here and get all of that while people riding them down the road and on the mopeds and the motorcycles. You be sitting right on here working with all this and pay off. See, it's paying off now. You see, that's the benefit of learning different stuff. And don't just actually when I went out there, I didn't go picking at people that played. I learned something off. Blind Bo, I like to forget him. Blind Bo. Stayed on Baptist Hill. Couldn't see it.
What his name was?
His name was Blind Bo. I don't know his real name. We just call him Blind Bo. Your granddaddy know who I'm talking about. He could walk to Greenville, man, tell you what time it was. Blind man, but he could pick guitar. Pick like you play. I wish you could have met him, but see, time just wasn't permitted. And that's him and Mr. Elton Lovejoy was a keyboard player. He was a school teacher. So that's what inspired me. See, it's some stuff coming back. Blind Bo would play guitar. He had a box guitar, so I would be over there across the street with the Leon Williams house. I said, hey, it inspired me a little to see it. He said, your name Horace Combs. Yeah, I just got that. Man, know me. He could. Yeah, he sat there and played. Had a little pull down cap, a little plaid cap, and he sat there with a little coat on, and he'd be picking, And that's what amazed me, how blind people just can go all over that neck and don't even look because they can't see. And then here we can sit up there and see and miss. I might have missed one or two a few minutes ago, It's just life, And to get back to your question, learn all you can. You can't never learn it all. That's why God got it for this one to play that way, this one to play that way. B.B. King was... Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone away for good. Thrill is gone, babe. Oh, it's gone away for good. I don't know, I'll be holding on, and then you got your boy Abbott. Jimmy Henry stole that lick from him. Well, loneliness, okay. I try to see you. I play the blues for you. Jimmy Henry played a little bit with Albert King. Jimmy Henry stayed in Atlanta about 6 months, but Albert King, you could just about tell those left-handed guitar players. They played the guitar. See, I'm left-handed. I started off like this.
Oh, you left-handed?
Yeah. And you couldn't, I was left-handed. Throw the baseball. I had to take a right-handed man glove and flip it backwards. You didn't have nothing for left-handed people then. So that's how, and I can still play bass left-handed now. But what happened, it was a guy down the street said, "You're a devil child." That didn't go with me. You know, when you love it. So I just started playing, but I still write, and see, as I go, different stuff come back. To me. It's just a move Jimmy learned from Albert. Albert loved to wind up, like that. That's about West Montgomery. And Temptation. The truth was a magic girl. You came into my life. They made some beautiful music out of Motown. And one of the Temptations. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. Well, you say, walking by my girl. All of that was more or less rhythm and blues, but it still came from the Mississippi Delta. You see, it formed from that. You see, but it went as time changed. People started playing dominant seventh, flatted fifths, or stuff like that. Flatted fifths, and just like on that other gospel song I did. To a flatted fifth. Growing up that child in my mother's womb. And see, the only thing from the electric to the acoustic ain't got enough neck for me. And see, on this guitar, you got that long neck, and you can just like, come out of that. Come out of that, as Raleigh John, you said, a nitty gritty.
Yeah, I got it.
So
let's say that. So I see that you running the bass too, but you doing that because it's just you. So how would you play if you had a bass player or a drummer? Would you be doing? Like
that's just the basic that or the sweeping. Talking about my girl. You see it all the time. Bass in my head. All like James Brown. When you touch me, touch me, baby. All that going in your head. Yeah. I got the baby. Once a bass player, always a bass player. But when you give it somebody else, I wouldn't hit this. That's the bass player be doing that. And I would just say, I got the feeling. In music, you got rest out, stuff like that. And a horn player might be popping in there. And what you would do, this guy would play it in a lower register. Like C, and then he would come up here. Higher register, that's the C. Somebody be playing lower register, somebody be higher register, so you wouldn't clash. The music wouldn't clash. And see, most blues players like you, you be playing your guitar and bass line too. And then when you get with a band, you learn to just play what you play. And then you won't be so busy, like a bass player. On the guitar, you've been doing. See, now when we start off, we playing ball. See, that's how they were playing back in the day. And the joke thought he was wailing. You see? But that was happening back in the day, but you came to this. You see? Oh. A lot of guys played the chord like that. But I played the full to get that full bass home. You see what I'm saying? But they just brought different chords. You see? But they do. That's Matthew Bailey, a guy out of Hogarville, used to play like that. Baby. And he was a little short cat, he'd be moving with it. And I'd be sitting there, a little kid, watching him. You know? But it went to, and different things. But it,
I don't even know what is the ask. What's the anything to ask Henry? I don't know. Like,
Y'all should play that song too.
my song was really into getting you to me, Previn.
Yeah. I've been talking. Yeah, let me go get my box. I want to.
Yeah, go get it. Go get that.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. They had one tuning all while he walked. We got every phone. Every phone.
Let me see. Say it close enough. I give you money, baby. You head downtown.
Hey.
Don't do a thing but wanna get drunk and clown. No, baby, you don't have to go. You know the way I've been treated. It'll never be that way no more.
You bad.
No. That make her double bad then. Cause you right in there with it. Yes, sir. Man, this is a trio. Let's see. Now, see, then most of the time, this kind of stuff out when they want me to play like. Yeah, man, man, it's tough. This
Let me
is
tell you
tough.
something. Now you made it. When I'm with somebody playing, I can really. They just push me to play.
Hey, I know what he's supposed to do.
He got to get to this music.
Come on, Khalil.
Khalil.
Oh yeah, I forgot a guy too, man. Chet Atkins. He was the best.
Oh, Chet Atkins was a finger picker, man.
Yeah, so-
Hey, I go back that way. Close the door.
Yeah, see, when
See,
I play with somebody, that just enhances me to play. It, just, it make me think of stuff that I wouldn't have did by myself. You see what I'm saying?
He just can match ball play. He just coming at. Oh man, let's do that again. I'll break it down right here. Get that one more time. Him, did I miss any questions? No, I don't think I did.
yeah, let me get it with me.
I know that I was gonna ask. So nowadays, kind of, you're playing music just kind of for friends and family, or?
Well, nowadays I play. Every Sunday I'm in a church somewhere. I got to play this afternoon for a party. I'll be playing. Yeah, I get a lot of offers sometimes. You know, one of these days I want to play live with him.
Oh, we gonna play. We gonna play.
And,
See
you
how
know.
we gonna play. That might be what I do.
And you know, just let him out front. I just feel, you know. See, the more I play with different musicians, I just enhance off of them. I work off of them, you know, and that's how I play. I play with a youngster named Mark Bynum on keyboard.
Mm-hmm. That's my bar.
And then I play with Sam Martin. You need to check with Sam Martin. He's an older guy that plays keyboards. He'd be good to play.
How old are you?
He older than me. He up in there.
Well,
He live in Harris City.
When we get finished with this, I want to get some contact for the people that you know that I'm doing mainly 60 and up, but I can go down to like 55. Okay. But that play that you know that are exceptional.
Mm-hmm. I got two young ladies that are exceptional gonna come play with me this evening out of Muscatine County. And one play in Willie Mae Harris. She plays drum, and the other one play keyboard. Oh man!
How old are you?
They a little younger than me. I just happened to meet them in the church down there. So wow, these girls can go, man. They ain't lazy like them guys. They play. You know, you got to go to a guy's house. No, he back in the trunk, or he ain't here. Be in the house all the time. But them girls be there. So yeah, I just like I still play. And a lot of times people don't be knowing it. I play mostly out of Greenville. I'm playing down like Hamilton, Georgia, Columbus, Thomaston.
You gotta let me know. I live in Columbus now. You
okay. Yeah. I was down there at the church on 5th Avenue.
Mm-hmm. You downtown there, man.
Yeah, that's why I played. That's where I met those young ladies at. And I forgot the name of the church, but that's where I met them. And I try to be like Hendrix. I be prolific. I play with this person, that person. You know, learn something off of them. They learn something off of me. You know. You see the mixture of this arch top and that guitar there, just boom, I hear it. It's just whammy. You know? You can play, man. Dude, I wouldn't been up here. I wouldn't been up if you couldn't play. Yeah, I ain't stopped playing. I play. Yeah.
So your occupation full-time musician?
Now, see, I retired 2014.
Okay.
And a lot of people think I'm younger than what I am, but I still get around.
What was you doing before?
I worked for a distribution center, but I still, music was always there. I worked for corporate distribution. And I still found the time to play. I was never like wasn't gonna play. You know. But, I worked for corporate distribution. It was East Point where I started and went to Boulder Crest. I never worked at the one they got now at Fort Gillum. And I got a lot of friends there. And I hope they get a chance to see this one of these days.
Oh, they will. They
so
will.
you know, I just play. You see, you can call me 3 o'clock in the morning and say, let's play, let's jam. That's what made James Brown tough as he was. He could get you up at 3 in the morning, all kind of. You had to play, you know, and that was it. And the musicians I like to work with are the musicians that want it, not the one you got forced to play. That's when you find a person you got forced to play. Don't even mess with you. You're wasting your time. You see? But somebody want it, then you ain't got to do all that hard work because they just about done practice up to when they sit with you like me and you said today, just blim, it comes. It ain't easy. You got to practice. That's what you're doing right there, man. That's all I say. I love you. You're a bad boy. You're a bad boy.
That's it. Well, I appreciate you, Mr. Horace. And let me get some of those. Let me get some of those names and numbers and stuff.
I'm on.